Hi everyone. If you've been following my projects with Victoria Designs and their Wonderland Adventures kit, you recognise these papers. So I've already made the big box project and the albums. So I thought what I'd do is make a little bonus project as well. So this is like a little extra tag on for you. Because in the kits, if you go over to their YouTube channel, Victoria Designs, you'll see a lot of their more junk journal and more vintage and shabby chic type things, making use of these pages, the journal pages. So I wanted to turn these and make a project more in my style. So what I've come up with is this Perpetual album. So I've used one of the papers on the front, and then you've got a booklet that opens up like that. Loads of amazing designs and room then for your 6x4 photos on each page. But what makes it a bit more interesting then is when you untie the ribbons, they're not actually just decorative. When you untie them, your album will also open up the other way, revealing even more of those journal pages. And Perpetual is like a never ending, so you can just go back the other way, or you can open it out and have all the pages on display, or even stand it up and have a display like that, or a zigzag, any way you want. So it's a nice little fun extra little idea. So how do I make it? Well, first of all, I printed off the journal pages. Now what's important with this now is that you choose the ones which haven't got the little text underneath. There's some which have a description underneath and some which don't. These are the ones that don't, so they're bigger. They'll fill more of your page. And when you print it, that you click the fit to page off. You don't want the fit to page because that'll stretch it to the side and you lose the top and bottom. So I got rid of fit to page and chose the bigger papers. Now what you want to do is you want to choose 7 or more. As long as you do an odd number, you want to do 7 or more of these. Then choose 1 extra for your cover. Okay, so this will work if you've got an odd number of pages. So that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. Now I'm cutting rather than trimming because I want it to be a bit more accurate, because you want all your pages to be the same size. And when I'm trimming white edges off, I don't always get it spot on. And if I trim a bit too much off, I'd have to trim off each one. So I find for this, cutting or using your ruler and knife is probably your preferred options for this. Before I do anything else, I think I really need to show you how these images look. Okay, so I'm printing onto my ice, my 190 GSM cardstock. And you can see the quality of the print here. So you don't want it to be too thin a paper. You want it to have some substance to it. So that's why I went for my thicker ice papers this time. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard, but it's a very unusual size, so I don't bother with that. What I'm doing is using the scoreboard to fold it in half like this. So I'm just using the scoreboard to line up. So, and then I'm just gently working that fold. Now I've got it, so I'm going to press that down. So I'm just using my scoreboard as a guide rather than for scoring, just to fold it in half. Now I'm using my Teflon tool to get a nice sharp crease, and I'm going to bring in my distress ink. Now usually I say this is just a finishing touch and optional, but this time I really do recommend you do this, because when we come to add our paper, it will hide any miscuts or a bit of different size, because the black edge won't show. So I'm actually doing the back here, and I'm doing all the way around all four, and I'm not being stingy here with my ink. I'm refilling quite often because I want it nice and dark. And I'm going to do the other side as well. And the reason for doing this will become clear when I start putting my book together. Okay, so you can see I've done both sides, and I'm making sure I've got it down the spine, because you are going to see that later on. So I'm making sure the spine part is nice and dark. I'll just finish off. Let's go around the edge of the inside as well, the coloured side. The last bit. Brilliant. So there we have our pages, and as I said, you're going to need 7 of them. So I suppose you don't want to see me inking all 7, so I've already done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ready. So you want a minimum of 7 so your cover doesn't catch, but as long as you go up now, adding in 2s, you could go 9, 11, however much you want. So here we go, all these amazing designs. And believe me, I haven't used half the designs here. So those were my pages, and there was another one that I've cut out ready, and I thought this was lovely for the cover because you've got the Alice Wonderland Adventures with the image. It actually did look like a book cover. For this one, I'm going to fold in half, and I'm just going to to fold one corner just to get the halfway point, and I'm going to trim this in half. Yeah. And again, just going to ink the edges so that it just ties in with the rest of the project. But I'm not doing the back this time. This is just the cover. Okay. Get some more ink. So I'm just getting rid of that white core edge, because it will show up on the black cover later on. Okay, so we have our pages done, we have our 2 covers done, So now we just need some chipboard. So again, same as I used for the box and the album, it's just 1.5mm chipboard. And I've cut it at 5 3/8 by 8 1/4. Now that is A4, so I got both of them out of the one A4 sheet. And it's up to you now how you want to cover it. You could use the cardstock method where you just put it on the card, trim, cover, but I like my frame tape from CoolKatz. So it's just a papery paper tape which was used in framing, I believe, framing photographs and things. So it's perfect for craft projects because it's going to be safe around your papers and your photos. So I'm just going to place it onto my tape. And if you've seen the other other videos, you will see how you just take your tape, keep just stretching it, placing it down, and again. And cutting it off. And then just taking a sharp pair of scissors and I'm cutting a V shape out of the tape towards the corner of my grey board. So just cut a triangle away. So it's sort of mitering there. I'm just working around all 4 sides. Flip it over. And there's a couple more to go. So this just sort of neatens up our edges of our grey board. I'm just pinching it over, then start in the middle, making contact all the way. So again, brush it onto the edge, just sort of taking a pinch just to get it over the edge of the grey board, and then take it down onto the main front. So I'm just sort of working it over that edge, pinching it on, and then squeezing it out. And again, making the contact over the edge, nice crisp edge. Then start in the middle and work out, especially with the longer edges. And if you find you've got a couple of bumps, you just take your Teflon tool, your bone folder, and you smooth it all down. And again, just do it on the other one. So, let's get it more centered. And pulled up. And again, try to be a little bit quicker this time. Just taking off the 8 corners. 4 on this side, 4 on the other. And as I said, you can use whatever method you want just to cover this. I just find this a bit quicker than the paper method, just covering with a black paper or black cardstock. And as well, the tape is cheaper than using all that double-sided tape as well. Okay, so just press the frame tape over. Press it all down. And get rid of all those creases. Not too bad this time. Excellent. So now we've got our 2 covers. But before I attach my papers to it, I want to add my ribbon. So let's have a look. So let's cut it. See what sort of size did I have last time. This seemed to be a good length. So 16. So if I cut them at 25 centimeters, I'll have enough to go inside. So let's have a look. So 6 inches, or yeah, let's go 9 inches. That might be easier to just keep the inches. So 9 inches. But it depends how long you want it, really. You just want enough to tie on the end. And if it's frayed, don't worry. I've got tricks to hide that later on. And you can have 4 or you can have 6, whatever you want. Let's go 6 today then. And you can see I'm just roughly chopping them at 9. Okay. So I'm going to bring in my ruler and I'm going to just use my ruler thickness. So I've lined both my covers the same, and I'm just going to draw a line. I'm going to bring it down the bottom, and I'm just going to draw a line across there too. And then let's have a look where the center is. So we're at 8 1/4, so that's 4 1/8. So if I mark at 4 and mark at 4 1/4, that might be a better way of doing it. I'll explain why afterwards. 4 and 4 1/4. So what we're going to do, that's the center, that's where my ribbon is going to go. So here our ribbon is going to go down from that line, and here it's going to go above the line. So some nice strong tape. This is the CoolKatz sticky paws. And I'm going to go below that line, between those two, and on the edge. And on this one now, I'll want them to be on this side. So beneath that one, in between those two, and above this one. Let me just add a little bit more there. Okay. So let's have a look. Let's take off some tape. And I just want enough that I can tie my knots later on. So now I'm looking here to my left to try and get sort of the same distance. And stick it down. And the third one. This is lining it up above. And now, actually I could have just done them like that, couldn't I? Let's take off these ones. And I'll just line them up. 1, 2, and 3. So when I flip them over, they're going to match. So that's our ribbons attached. Let's bring in those 2 pieces I did for the cover. Let's just cover those ribbons. So I'm going to make sure I'm getting it adhered around those ribbons. So just adding some extra glue around there. And on this now, I'm just making sure I've got glue all around. Move the one from underneath away. So we're sticking onto the ribbon here. So you want some nice thin ribbon. Otherwise you're going to get lots of bumps here. So I just got some thin satin here. I think I used some organza on the original one. So that's the first one. So we want the smooth bits meeting, so this will be the back. Make sure I'm the right way around. So just make sure it keeps that ribbon in place. And so look, yep, keys to the right hand side. Okay, so those are my cover pieces ready, so set them aside. Let's bring our pages in. So have a think now how you want your pages to look. When you open your book first, which one do you want to see? So I think I'm going to start with this one because the Alice will tell us what the theme is. So your Alice one is going to be the first book, page as you open it like that. So I'm going to open it up and close it off to the left. Now my second page, so the fold is on my right. The next page now I'm going to put like so to form a zigzag with my spine onto the right. So now you'll see why I inked those edges black, the spine bits, because when you glue them together you're actually going to see, so that black will just give you a nice finish. So now I'm just going to take my page and I'm going to line it up onto my first page. Now this second one, the one I'm putting on top, you will not see this in the regular open. So here's the first page we've chosen. Now the one we've just stuck is actually behind there. So when you open it up, it's actually keeping these 2 pages together there. So number 1 you will see, number 2 you won't. Number 3 you will see in the original opening. So I'm going to have, let's have a look, we've got a red. So do I want another red? No, let's go turquoise. So my spine was on my left this time, so now it's going to be on my right. So just keep alternating your spine. where that fold is. So again, I'm lining it up. So we've got red. Now this had a green one, so purple would be fine here. Well, let's go red, because I've got quite a few reds. So this time the spine is going to go to my left. So I need to ink this side. So I was lifting it up. Now if you find lining up tricky, what you can do is bring your scoreboard back in and build it in that corner there. But just be aware, with scoreboards, it comes up and then tilts back. So if the higher up you come, it's actually tilting back towards the top there. So your papers would gradually start going that way. So just use the left-hand side to line things up if you're not confident. Right, forgot where I am. So page 1, page 2. So now we're moving on to page 3. I think now I'm going to use that purple. Oh, which side do I want now? So the spine's here, so now I want it like that. And I had a red one, so let's try and avoid the red. Let's go for the black then. And I want spine that side, so let's... I think you get an idea now of how the book builds up and how it all works. And the last one is going to go that way. So let's just put the ink, glue on this bit this time. So I've just kept going until I've used up all my papers. So here we go. You can see now why I inked those spines of the pages so well at the beginning. It was worth doing because it does hide. In the original one, I didn't. And you can see how the white really shows up. So I did test it on the last one and I liked how it looked. So you can see that's a much better finish. So this is the back. So let's bring in the back piece. Here we go. And lay it down. Now just so that it stays in place, I'm gonna put some tape down. Just some more of my strong score tape or the sticky paws tape. I'm gonna flip it over. Now the chipboard bit is a little bit bigger than our pages, just to give a nice little black border. So that's why you want 7 pages at least. Otherwise the overlap will hit each other as you open your book. So if you line up in the center and take it a little bit closer to the left hand side where the ribbons are. There you go. That'll just mean you've got less overlap of the chipboard on the left, which will help with the book opening. So Again, added some tape just so it sticks straight away so we can carry on with our project, but the glue is what will keep it in place permanently. So now what I'm going to do is line this up with the chipboard underneath. So I'm bringing my head straight over, placing it down, checking, yep, it's nice and even, happy to squeeze down. So that's your Perpetual album then. You can see if you had less than 7, as you opened it, these 2 bits would hit there. So that's why you want a minimum of 7. So let's just finish off with these ribbon ends. So what I've done, I've just taken some die cut or hole punch and done a load of dots, black circles, and some of the paper leftovers from when I did my album and my box. I got way too much here, I know. So let's have a look. Which ones will... I'm gonna just blacken the 6 I want. I was on 6, I went 12, didn't I? So, 2. So by using the offcuts from the album, I know it's going to tie in with all the papers in those journal pages. But in the kit as well, they've actually got some of the journal pages, but mini versions. So you get like 2 on 1 page. So if you wanted to make a tiny version of this, you really could. So all you'd want to do is print off one of your pages, make your chipboard page just slightly bigger, and use the same method. So you can make small ones or this size. So we got 2, 4, 6 halfway. Was that 8? Almost there, just 3 more to go. So if you wanted to do an even more elaborate finish, what you can do is take some glossy accents or something similar and colour in each of these as well. And that will give you like an enamel ribbon end. So almost done. And one more. There we go. So now it's just a case of attaching to a ribbon. So I like to get a little bit of tape onto the backs, just so it holds the ribbon in place while the glue has time to attach. So I'm just going to attach some ribbon to the backs of these, some double-sided tape. Again, this is my strong score tape or sticky paws tape. This is where I think, why didn't I just do 2 ribbons? One more. And then it's just a case of, take it off, place your ribbon on top, take off the next one ready, and attach the glue. Next to I'll take my Teflon tool just to get the glue to attach all the way around. So this is why I was saying that don't worry if your ribbon ends are frayed, because we're covering them up. I think I did one extra today. No wonder it took me too long when so long when I was doing extras. And there we have it. Your ribbon ends, just enough for you to tie loosely a little knot on the end, on all 3. I know some people like decorating their ribbon ends and stuff, so go for it. Be creative, that's your opportunity to be creative. And there we have our Perpetual album using the Victoria Designs journal pages. And if you head over to their YouTube page, there's links there to their shop and things. You will find a whole host of different journal kits available. So you can make a dragon one, there's mermaids, there's magical themes, loads of different ones. And this little quick little album or book can be made using any of those kits. Then just untie and you'd be able to open up the other way as well, or just stand up like that if it's kept tied. So thank you for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed, please give me that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll add links underneath to the Victoria Designs YouTube page and any other info you might need to make one of these. So please look at that description, hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you all again really soon with some more fun, exciting projects. Happy crafting.